Okay, section 9.1 is factors and greatest common factors. A lot of this is going to be review, so it shouldn't be too big a deal. So, prime number is a whole number greater than 1 whose only factors are 1 in itself. So, some prime numbers would be 2 is the first prime, 3 is prime, 4 is not because it can be multiplied 2 by 2. 5 is prime, 6 is not, it's 2 times 3. 7 is prime, 8, 9, 10, none of those are prime, 11, etc., etc. Composite numbers, a whole number greater than 1 that has more than 2 factors. So anything that's not prime is composite. 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, they all have more factors than just 1 in themselves. So, prime numbers and composite numbers. So, prime factorization is the act of taking a number and breaking it down into its prime factors. So, for example, 24. 24 can be 2 times 12. 2 is prime, so I don't have to factor that any further. 12, however, can be factored to 3 times 4. 3 is prime. But 4 can be 2 times 2. So the prime factorization of 24 is 2 times 3 times 2 times 2. Try 54 for me and come on back when you're done. Okay, so there's a lot of ways to break this down at the start. I did 9 times 6. That'll give me 3 times 3. And 3 times 2, so 3 times 3 times 3 times 2. So hopefully you have no problems doing that. All right, let's look at the prime factorization of a monomial. So now we're going to add variables. Okay, so if I have something like 12a squared b, again, I have to factor 12. We already said that it was 2 times 2 times 3. The prime factors of a squared are a times a, and b is just by itself. So that's the prime factorization of a monomial. Okay, try this one for me. 46a squared b cubed. Okay, 46 is 2 times 23, and 23 is prime. So 2 times 23 times a times a times b times b times b. Okay, pretty cut and dry. Now the greatest common factor, of 2 or more integers is the product of the prime factors common to the integers. That's why it's called a common factor. GCF of 2 or more monomials is the product of their common factors when each monomial is in factored form. And if 2 or more integers or monomials have a GCF of 1, then the integers are said to be relatively prime. We'll talk more about that in class. But let's try one real quickly. I want to find the GCF between 46 a squared b to the 5th and 38 a cubed b squared. So first find the common factors. 46 is 2 times 23, factoring a squared and b to the 5th. 38 is 2 times 19, 19 is prime, 3 a's, 2 b's. So in common, they have a 2, they have 2 a's, and 2 b's. So 2a squared b squared is your GCF. And that's all we're doing for today.